So once we have understood the various forms of precipitation, then we have understood what are the types in which the precipitation will happen. Next, we'll try to understand how to measure the precipitation. So here we'll try to measure the rainfall as the major form of precipitation that we get is rainfall. So that's why we focus mainly on rainfall itself. So in the previous diagram that I was showing you, the data that I was showing you from the website WRS, there I showed you that the rainfall is in terms of depth of water. Okay, so it's a very simple thing to measure. What you do is that in your home also you can do it, but it doesn't have a certified way of measuring the depth of flow. So before the start of rainfall, you keep a bowl or something, and when the rainfall ceases or when the rainfall stops, you go back to the terrace and see how much is the depth of rainfall collected. So that is the most basic form of identifying the rainfall. Yeah, what is the nature of rainfall that we had. Okay, so I have just explained you in the slide. You can see that there are some of the ways in which we can measure the rainfall. First is the depth of rainfall, how much is the depth that takes place. Then what you see is that the duration of rainfall. Like for example, you can just see how much is the time for how long the rainfall has happened. It is half an hour, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, or whatever duration is. So as you already have measured the depth and you know how much is the time taken to collect that amount of water, that depth of water, next thing is you will calculate the intensity. Like for example, you measure the depth of the rainfall that has taken place and you note down how much is the time taken for the rainfall event. Then what you do is that the depth of rainfall divided by the duration of rainfall will give you the intensity of rainfall. With what intensity the rainfall was happening. Okay. So once you observe these three conditions, depth, duration, intensity, next what we need to understand is the distribution. How this entire rainfall was distributed with respect to the spatially. So you might have come across many rainfall events in your life, but like you might have experienced this. You might be there might be a huge rainfall in college, but by the time you reach your home, there is no rainfall in your region, in your residential place. So that explains you that rainfall doesn't happen equally in all the space, right? So it has got some area in which the rainfall happens. Okay, so there are various technologies have been improved where for any given particular event we can calculate the depth of rainfall, we can calculate the duration of rainfall, and simultaneously we can calculate the intensity. And now the distribution can also be calculated. Okay, there are various techniques in which we will find out to what spatial extent the distribution has taken place. Now imagine if you know all of these three things, we can easily calculate how much is the volume of water that was distributed in that particular rainfall event. Okay, so you know the area in which the rainfall has happened, you know how much is the depth of rainfall, you can calculate how much is the volume of rainfall that has taken place, and if you know the intensity, you can calculate how much is the discharge of that area is. So this is how we can quantify the rainfall. Okay, next. Now as I explained you can experiment in your own way, but in general form you cannot do it. Okay, you cannot authenticate the data that you collected. Okay, so here there are types of rain gauges are there. There are various types of rain gauges. uh, they are classified into two types. One is non-recording rain gauge, the other one is recording rain gauge. So the rain gauges are basically the instruments which will measure the depth of rainfall, or it can measure the duration of rainfall, or it will measure the intensity of rainfall. But rain gauges do not measure the distribution of rainfall. Okay, so that's why sometimes the rain gauges are also called as point gauges. Point gauge means one it's a rainfall that has happened at that particular point. Okay, it doesn't explain the rainfall that has happened over the entire area. So that's why they are also called as point gauges or rain gauges. Okay. Now, what is non-recording rain gauge? Like whenever we prescribe anything, there is some standard code with respect to that we prescribe, right? Like for example, you all know that for designing the RC structures, we have IS 456, and when you are designing for steel structure, we have IS 800, and when you want to explain the quality of water, there are IS codes. Like everything has got a standard procedure through which we can measure or carry out any given process. Okay, so here also in case of non-recording rain gauges, there is a gauge called as Simon's gauge. Okay, I'll show you the picture of that later. Okay, I'll send you the PDF file of this, and then you can check out the dimensions of that rain gauge. So basically what happens is that you have to go early in the morning, 8:30, and you have to place a glass or a jar. Okay, so whatever the rainfall that happens for that entire day, it will get collected. So what you do is that you go next morning 8:30 and you remove that water which is collected in a jar, and then you measure the depth and you keep another jar over there to monitor or to calculate the rainfall that will happen in the next day. Like this, it continues. Okay. So this is called as non-recording rain gauge, where the record is not kept continuously. Okay. There the record has to be managed. That's why it is called as non-recording rain gauge. Automatically the records are not taken place, not measured. Okay. Okay. Here, in case of recording rain gauge, there are tipping bucket rain gauge, weighing type rain gauge, floating type rain gauge. There are the three popular ones, and I haven't seen any of these three. I have seen only the Simon's rain gauge. You can find out the rain gauges in several administrative blocks. Like for example, PWD main building, we may have the rain gauge stations, or we can have the rain gauge stations in any of the park, centurial parks or something. Like for example, in Bhutnal Tank, I guess there is a rain gauge station. So there you can see that rain gauge is maintained over there. Okay, so it's also a non-recording rain gauge, I guess. It's not recording rain gauge. Okay, so we have a recording rain gauge. So there are three types of recording rain gauge. Let me just briefly try to check out the figures. Without figure, I can't be able to explain them. 1 second, I'll just go through. Do you have class after this? I'll try to explain you the mechanism with which it works. Okay. So this is the arrangement in which the water gets collected. So you can see this is the funnel we have. Okay. So through this funnel, it is exposed to the atmosphere. Whenever there is a rainfall, the water is getting collected in this funnel, and this funnel will discharge water in this bucket. Okay. This is a bucket which is having two sides. Okay, and it has a partition over here. Over here there is a partition. The water gets collected in one side here, only in this side. Okay, this side the water is not getting collected now. Okay, so all the water that is being collected in the funnel is diverted towards this bucket. Okay, once the weight of the bucket increases, or once the bucket gets completely filled up, this will drift, or this will sway in the downward direction. This gets lifted up, this side gets lifted up, and this comes in the downward direction. Then the water that is coming from the funnel will be discharged into this bucket. Okay, afterwards what happens? This bucket gets filled up, this comes in the downward direction, and this gets lifted up. So this continues. This way of measuring gets continued, and you can see there is a button over here. Okay, and there is also a button over here. Okay, This will create an impression in the chart that is in this. Here somewhere there will be a chart, and that chart will keep on recording. So like for example, this will drift, like assume that the maximum depth that can be collected is 5 mm. So assume that the 5 mm is collected. Once the 5 mm is getting collected, this moves in the downward direction, and this bottom of this plate or bottom of this bucket will touch to this one button. Then it gets recorded that there is a 5 mm rainfall that has happened. Okay, and with that they are also measuring the time that is taking to fill up. Like for example, to fill up 5 mm it took 10 minutes. Okay, so it is also recording the time, and it is also recording the quantity of water that is filled. Okay, so in the first 10 mm 5 mm is collected. So in the next 10 mm, or maybe in the next 5 minutes itself, another 5 mm gets collected. Okay, again it creates an impression over here, and it gets noted in the chart. So this process continues. So by this there is a chart that is maintained, and it will give you the information of duration of rainfall and also the depth of rainfall that is taking place. Okay, so that's why it is called as a tipping bucket type of rain gauge. Okay. Next we have is a weighing type rain gauge. So you can see the setup here. Again, this is a funnel we have, and the water that is taking place in the atmosphere will get collected in this funnel, and that funnel will divert all the water that is collected in the funnel to this bucket. Okay, so in this bucket all the water gets collected. So what happens here is that there is a spring over here. Okay, when it is kept empty, this spring has got some datum. Okay, as the rain keeps on increasing, as the rainfall happens, the water gets collected here, and the height of water will keep on increasing in this bucket. With the increase in that, we can assume that the weight of the bucket is also increasing. Basically the water is getting collected in the bucket, because of that the weight is increasing. So as the weight increases, this spring will come downward because of the force that has been applied by the weight of the water. The springs come in the downward direction. You can see in this chart. In this chart that it is noted here. This is the pinion arrangement. Whenever there is an increase of force, wherever there is a force applied by the water, weight of the water, the springs come in the downward direction. As the spring comes in downward direction, this lever will work. This lever will send the information to the chart, and the duration and the depth of rainfall is noted here. Okay, that is what the mechanism. So this is how we record the rain gauge. So as you can see in both the method, both in tipping type rain gauge, and then in this type, which is called weighing bucket type of rain gauge. In both of these, we don't need to manually go and record anything. We don't need to change the jar. We don't have to go exactly on a precise time and change the jars and all of those things. There is no problem with that. Simply the record of that will be noted by the rain gauge itself. So you don't need to worry about it. So this is what rain gauge is. This is how we measure the depth of rainfall. We measure the intensity of rainfall, and also we measure the duration of rain. Anyway, the statistics, how do we work, and how do we formulate the charts, how do we read the data, everything I'll explain you in the coming class. Okay, so we'll end up here. We'll continue in the next class.